Allow me to introduce myself.
We are the Emperor's chosen.
Hi, everybody! New campaign. These are our lovely peoples that you see here. I will quickly do this just because currently not appearing in the film. Don't know what's fully going on. She said she was trying to see if she could make it or not. This is the last I knew, or she wasn't sure. We'll go from there. But without further ado, we're going to get things underway. Have a great time. Fun story. I want to give a shout out to The Forge. They are our hosting service for Foundry. If you need hosting services, check them out. Without further ado, These are the fine candidates, compatriots, and alleged adventurers and heroes in this story about to be foretold. This one, we are going to be focusing very heavily on narrative, so buckle up and get ready for that. Whenever you are asked to go ahead and do something character-wise and stuff, feel free to embellish it as a scene in a TV show or movie or such. That is desired, wanted, and requested. That doesn't mean you're going to be penalized if you fail to do so in a glorious manner, but it is preferred if you give some visual embellishments and such as to the circumstance going on and what your character's doing and such. Kind of lay out the scene. That's something that I haven't done as much before either, so feel free to call me out on doing better at it as well. Without further ado, camera going to pan into a Asiatic setting. You have islands and a mainland, and it zooms into various characters who are about to partake on their adventure and story. Would one of you fine characters like to introduce yourselves first?
You said the camera is panning in. Where is it panning into?
Well, you know how they have it break through the clouds and you see the land. It goes in, and that's where I'm asking you, so it knows which way to go. So you could take it away saying then it pans further to the south or the east or wherever your character is, and it goes in and talks with your character, and then it's going to go back to the others. And that's why I was letting whoever wanted to kind of take it away to pan the camera into their character and talk about what they see him doing.
Okay. So I will start then. The camera will turn to the north and the east towards the coastlands of this Eastern-inspired landmass, and you will see the rolling waves of the ocean, and then you will see a protected cove being zoomed in upon, where there are all manner of fishing vessels, small and large, that are dotted around this protected bay, casting lines in, and you will see a small village with a little dock where these boats can find their home, and you will see a man. You'll see a man wearing a fairly simple kind of wet weather gear. He has a conical farmer's hat that he's using for himself, and currently he is loading some goods, crates and barrels, onto a vessel, and he has just negotiated to take on a couple of passengers. You see money pass hands, and you see him loading these things in and he finds a seat for these passengers, and then he stands at the back with a very long pole, and he casts away to ferry them from one place to another. He is of approximately average height, and looks to, he looks gruff, hardworking. You see sweat pouring off his brow. You see him kind of not crazily dirty, but it's sort of sweat combined with a bit of dirt. You know, he's been working hard. There's dust and dirt covering his clothes, and you know, yeah, and so that's the man that you see, and he is represented down there with a little guy with a conical hat, and I've got him with a fishing line there and a sling, but it's more like a long guiding pole that he uses to guide the boat. It is not his yet. He rents the boat at the moment to ferry these people around, and uses their fee to help put towards finally buying one, but he hasn't been able to do that yet. So
I have a question for you on this, Matt. Who is the name of the old ferryman that your lovely character, how do you say the name? I want to make sure I say it right. Gyang?
I pronounce it Gyang. Yang?
Okay, Gyang.
Yeah.
What is the name of the old gentleman that Gyang is buying the ship from?
Okay.
Retired and is now selling it to you to take over the work.
Yep. Give me.
Yep.
Okay. Is going to be. This man's name is Hui. I don't know if we pronounce the H or H, but his name is Hui. And he is quite aged and has many generations of family. And he has recently purchased a new vessel, and he is selling his old one to gain some more funds. Let me put that in the chat here. Is the old gentleman I will be buying my boat from when I have enough monies. There you go. Way.
Perfect. Excellent. Now I can save that name so I have it. Keep track of it. I like doing that. All right. Excellent. Well described and introduced. Who would like to go next?
I can.
Excellent.
Okay. The camera would pan into out in the east in the ocean where there are a series of islands, and it will pan across numerous larger islands to a small island on the south end of this chain of islands. Fairly rocky and craggy. The tops of the mountains are covered in cherry blossom trees and small fields. The small bits of land around the edge where there aren't just sheer cliffs, there's some rice paddies, and you see a few docks for boats to go out fishing. It'll pan over a small village on the island that looks like most of the people tend to be segregated or living there. And then to the far south edge on the cliff side, it'll come to a cave with a makeshift door and wall built into the side of it. And my character will be sitting there working on a small ramshackle crabbing cage. You see he's a fairly large figure, well over 6 foot tall, well built, but has the distinct coloration of his skin that indicates that he is Oni blooded. His clothes are fairly tattered and ratty and been stitched back together and patched numerous times. You can see that he's got a small little makeshift table with gear that it looks like he's assembling, maybe for a journey. And he will travel into town to trade some of the crabs he's caught for some other various foods and stuff to be go on the road. And one thing that'll be noticeable is that many of the townsfolk will shun him and look away or just plain out ignore him. He finds one old man who's willing to trade with him, makes the trade, heads back home, and prepares to set out on the journey.
Excellent. And as you're thinking of your impending trip, who is the person who has taught you some of your sword arm skills? Who is your sensei that you...
I had forgotten that. I thought about it. I thought about it and I forgot it. One thing is you'd probably see a scene of him practicing alone, working off of some tattered manuscripts.
Yep. Don't do that. Okay. Yeah, if you want to get that name, and we'll put it in there. Excellent. Well done, both of you. Who is next?
I'll go next. Oh, mine. So the camera will pan out and it'll move west. It will move to a rural area in western China, but it will be kind of similar to Japan, but it will be a very small village that's very secluded, and it's known for its farms, and it's kind of a commune where everybody shares, and there's a traditional balance and balance with everything. You will see a bear, a member of the Ursai species. His name is Zhang Guowei, and he is rather large. He's like 6.5 feet tall, brown fur, brown eyes. He's got a very even keel. He is currently working in the rice fields, doing his daily tending to the paddies, and he hears someone call out to his name, and he looks up and he sees someone from the market calling over to him to come and work with these two vendors that are kind of having a little bit of difficulty coming to an agreement on their bartering. And he moves over and wipes his hands on his robes as he walks. And when he gets there, he notices that one of them has a kind of an air of a city person that's just traveling out, and he tries very hard to strike a bargain between the two, and it's not exactly a completely fair deal, but the city person kind of understands that they're the visitor, and this the thing that they came to get. The item it can only be procured from this particular place, so he's willing to pay the tax, so to speak, to procure said item for his area. And once that finishes, he goes back to his rice field and head down and goes back to tending the paddies.
Huh?
Thank you.
Has he had anyone who's taught him things or not?
So he has I would say one of so he's not the elder. Like I mean he's only like 34. So so I would say like we can call the village elder his mentor, and I will put the name in our chat. Yeah, actually, I'll put it in the Twitch chat. And some of you may, let's see, Jiao Yong.
Okay. All right, cool.
Thank you.
Puppy, Heather.
I can go. Puppy doesn't want it.
Sure.
Oh, sorry. The camera pans east to a man, maybe a bit too worn for his young age by both the weather and emaciation, as he sits under the shade of a dying tree out in the markets as people bustle by. Beside him sits a dog in far better shape, far better age. Despite, sorry. He stands, actually, do you want to go first, puppy? Sorry.
Sure. Well, the camera pans out to a big bustling city, where Emiko lives, with her family in this nice big house. You can tell that they are in no need of money. They got money. And at first glance, you might think they're just a normal noble with their medicines here and there, working to whatever customers come in and give them whatever they need. But on the inside, it's a different story, where certain people don't always leave. The parents have trained their daughter to be an assassin for them. So she does whatever her parents tell her to do, and she gets the job done with no questions asked. So she will be healing people in the day and also taking lives during the night. But people on the outside, they respect the family, and the family is very in other people's minds maybe like honorable, but
Okay.
it's a whole different story when you're on the inside.
So, who did Emiko learn her healing skills from, and who did she learn her altered healing forms from?
So her healing abilities, like all those like different healing techniques, and also needlework, because she does some acupuncture, but you might not always want acupuncture from her. It's one of her famous ways of taking someone's life. She learned most of that stuff from her mother, and then some of the fighting techniques she learned from her father.
Okay. So, do you have a name for your mother?
I am still deciding on which name I want to go with, but I did get a name for the father.
Okay.
Let's see. Orochi? Yeah, I did write it down, so.
If you can just send that to me, I'll put it in notes so I can keep track of it.
Yep.
As well. And who did they bring in to teach you medicine and heal?
So the mother was there to teach her a bunch of stuff, and they probably brought in like someone that knew a little bit more.
Yeah, renowned doctor they hired to come in and teach you what was this mentor's name? Taught you how to heal well. And if you don't have names now, just tell me you're going to come up with them.
Yeah, I'm going to come up with them. I don't have the doctor's name, but I'm working on that. Names are hard.
Okay. There's some generators if you need and stuff. It's not a problem. But yeah, if you can, get me those when you're able to.
But
okay. Heather, are you back and able to do yours? Unless you're not done, puppy. Sound like you're kind of done.
I am.
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Good to go. Let's hear it.
Okay. The camera pans south to a man, maybe a bit too worn for his age by both emaciation and the elements from being out on the street. He sits in the shade of a tree on the outskirts of a bustling fishing village, sure to draw just enough attention to gather a small crowd without being shooed off by the local shopkeepers, something that he's very acquainted with. He stands up, and a small dog, maybe no bigger, no higher than his waist, follows close in his heels. And as he gathers a small crowd, usually people with nothing better to do, loose pockets, the elderly, the young, people a bit slower-witted, come to pay him mind. This is his usual spot, changing once every couple of days, place to place, doing small tricks in the market for money, food, whatever they're willing to throw him. Eventually, a shopkeeper does come, begin to jeer at him, shoo him off into the street, and he nods solemnly. He's very much aware that he's not supposed to be here, and he's aware that he's outstaying his welcome. With a bit of compassion, though, one of the elderly women gives him a fish, and he sits back to his tree, and shares the majority with the dog, who sits beside him, far more well taken care of than he is himself. He knows this is the usual tradition, and he needs to start moving on somewhere else soon, as he packs his stick and starts heading off somewhere new. Oops.
I'm muted. Do you have a name for your dog?
Sumo, although I'm thinking he kind of changes the dog's name every now and then, depending on where he goes, but affectionately refers to it Sumo behind closed doors.
Emo?
Sumo.
Okay. And
did I get that right, Heather? Sumo? Like sumo wrestler?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can always type in the chat too. There's if you click on the little chat bubbles on the right, near the top right, it'll open up the chat panel and you can type in there.
Gotcha.
You'll see that both Matt and I have.
Did you have anyone who was a mentor to you, taught you, someone you looked up to and respected?
Technically 47, my character is legal property of someone. While they did get mentioned by them, they by no means respect them.
Understandable.
Gotcha.
So I'm meaning, did while in that position or before or after, at some point, did he have someone who gave him some survival skills that he admires and respects, not someone who, you know, told him to get back in his cage?
Before, no. All of these survival skills are kind of learned and figured out, sink or swim kind of moment afterwards, unfortunately.
Okay. Excellent. So, these are the lovely casts that you see before you as the camera pans to another location. A central location. Fairly bustling small town that has no reason to be where it's at and has no reason to be bustling by any means. But for some reason, it is. That reason is this is the town that has a special place. A place people come from all around to learn martial art, fighting skills of all sorts. It is the University of Arts here. You go in and you see a gentleman sitting there, older one, with the younger one before him. And the older one's like, "Have you gotten the applicant set?" "Indeed, sir. They should be coming before long. Make sure the notices are sent and they are brought here forthwith. Is there anything else you want?" "Yes, you will be conducting testing ceremonies to see shows potential and is to be admitted, and who we should pass on for the time being. As you know, we only have a few positions open, as we have limited abode space, because it keeps it where we get to, the finest and best." "Certainly, sir. I will be sure to do so. Do you have a way you want me to do that?" "Well, you've done well, so I'm giving you a chance to prove that you're ready to take the next steps in your career." Very well, sir. I shall do my best." And the camera pans out. Very interesting scene with these 5 individuals and their experience with someone who gives them a suggestion to go to the academy. So, you get to make another scene as you instruct these lovely viewers who it is, or under what circumstances you're seen by someone, to give you a recommendation to route you to this Academy of Arts that you all have heard about, but never dared think that you would be good enough to get an invitation to. The greatest and best are sent there. Who would like to go first? Should we go the same order?
If Matt's ready, that sounds good to me. You're muted, Matt.
Is this the same day, or can it be like...
It can be before, after, or the same day. Whichever is fine.
Okay.
As you know, in TV series, sometimes they shift time and stuff a little bit, and that's fine.
Yeah, so you'll see...
that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll see the passage of time peel back a couple of weeks, and you will see... you'll see between the islands and the mainland a ship. It's a small ship, but it's still a ship. It's a cargo ship, and this cargo ship is being beset upon by pirates. They are the ship is faring okay, but there are a number of small fishing vessels nearby who are responding to her plight and are coming to aid as much as they can. The fishermen are using their poles to try and, force the pirates away. Their vessels and they're cutting lines from the vessels, trying to separate them. And Gyang is among one of the fishermen who has responded to this vessel in trouble, and the camera will follow him as he climbs some outer ropes to the deck, where he throws one of the pirates casually off the deck and into the water again. And at that moment, just off to where the vessel is being piloted, the pirates have managed to gain a foothold up there, and they bring the captain down with their weapons. And a number of the crew are trying to regain a foothold there. And Gyang and his fellow fishermen are trying to assist the best that they can, fending this group of pirates off. And eventually, after a harrowing foray, the defenders are victorious, and the rest of the pirates flee. And the crew look a bit crestfallen because it is found that the first mate too has met an unfortunate end, and so the captain and the first mate, the first mate is gone, has perished, but the captain is alive. He's been severely wounded and isn't capable of taking control of the ship. And he calls out in thanks to the fishermen who are present, and asks in reward if one of them would guide the ship back to safety. And the fishermen mostly haven't really done anything like that, and most of them are pretty, single boat oriented. But Gyang has led small teams before, and so he stands and volunteers, and he hops up to guide the ship in, and you'll see a cut here, and then the ship pulling in safely to the dock, where the captain, who is hobbling, arm in arm with his men, shakes Young's hand and recommends him to go to the university, giving him the required funds to get there after his deed of valor.
Awesome. Great job. Welcome.
Yeah. So you'll see a scene where Zangetsu is being hired to work on a a boat to take a haul of food that the island has produced across the sea to a large city and trade it. And he's hired just as labor to work as a deckhand and haul things on and off the boat. When in the big city, he has some time off and is wandering around and is accosted by a group of thugs who think that he's easy prey due to the shabbiness of his clothing, and the scabbard at his hip is old and battered looking. But he surprises them and is quickly able to overcome them with what is quite a magnificent piece of steel, and fights them off, and is sheathing his weapon when he hears laughter from an old drunk guy sitting in the back of the alley. And the old drunk guy suggests that he go to the school and learn how to fight properly. And the idea worms its way into Zangetsu's head on his trip back home as he rides the boat back home. And that's where we saw him preparing for his journey.
Excellent. You know, you're really making note taking very difficult.
I was gonna say it has to be the little. You're good for me.
Yep.
Yeah. So later in the day, after he finishes tending his rice paddies, Zhang is going, or Guowei is going to. So it's a relatively secluded place that he lives, but he finds that there are some supplies that need replenishing. So he starts a journey early in the afternoon, and in the middle of said journey, he notices that there's a group of travelers being set upon by bandits, and he. He's a defending type, and he announces himself as who he is. The de facto isn't the right word, but like he's one of the leaders of a local village, and he is he's going to welcome these travelers that are being beset upon by these bandits into the village, and the bandits obviously don't like this. So he's always had this innate feel with the elements, and as his like the blood starts rushing a little, and he starts to sense around him that the kind of the earth is listening to him, and just he starts to move towards the bandits, and there's a noticeable like gust of wind, and the sand starts to fly in their direction and get in their eyes, and it is really bothering the bandits to the point that they disperse, and the travelers that were being defended were from the school, and they notice that he has a unique gift with the elements, and that he should consider enrolling in the school to further his skills.
Okay. Bobby?
So, Emiko is just strolling on the streets, just taking one of her walks that she normally does, with her maiden right next to her, holding her umbrella and stuff, her sun umbrella. And she's just strolling through town, just keeping up appearance and stuff. And when she returns home, is at that time when she has received a letter, and her parents are overjoyed. So, and they basically just tell her that that she's where she's going and stuff, and she just gives on like a little smile, not like a big smile or anything, just like a little smile, and she nods, and then she returns to her duties around the house, and just kind of goes on with her day. She doesn't really have any excitement or disappointment. She just they tell her where to go, so she does what they say. And
so your mother and father arranged for you to go?
Yes. They've been hoping that she would get in for a long time now. So when the letter finally came, they're very happy.
Sounds good. 47.
Hello, I am ready when you guys are.
What was the event that was involved and you told you should go to the academy?
The scene pans in as 47 is wrapping up a performance. It's getting dark out. And all the people are starting to go home. And as he's prepping the dog's leash, the dog's collar, and his very few possessions, an elderly woman comes out to meet him out in the grass. And she speaks to him very softly. Oh, darling, I come out here frequently. It's not that I personally believe you. I've been around the sun quite a few many times. No, that's not a lie. And she jokes and jeers at him jestfully, but he doesn't speak. I come out here every now and then against my husband's wishes, and I bring you portions of fish, and today's no different. If you return to stay here, I don't mind helping you. However, I do think you ought to get moving. Not that I don't want you here, because I see something more in you than just an older busker on the street. Discreetly, she hands him an envelope underneath the plate. I've heard of this place not long ago. My niece applied, and we never really heard much back, but if you can get that beast to listen to you, lion or not, you clearly have some sort of skill. Let that take you somewhere besides the street, will you? 47 doesn't respond, but he nods solemnly. The lady goes on about her business, and he sits down underneath the tree. She sits down, opens the note, and decides, instead of going to the next town, perhaps I'll give this note a passing glance. He has much better to do. And off he goes.
All right. You all have a varying degree of journeys. Some easy, some difficult. Some through rain and slogging. Some through padded carriages and luxurious stops. Eventually, you all get to the academy. And this is where we're going to quickly pivot, because we're going to go over some actual system things because they're about to become irrelevant. So, look at that pretty map. So this is the map scene we have. These are lovely people. Now, when we roll in this system, you are given a... Sorry, I'm trying to move something so it's a little bit more visible. You are given a dice pool to roll. When you do, you get to have them selected on your character sheet. Oh, hold her up. Cool. And you'll pull up and you'll see this to roll. Now, this you will see there's different colored dice, which are also different sizes. We will determine how those go. Positives, the first two here, are from your actual character and how they are built. What are they built to perform and do? It is from your skill as well as your natural ability from your characteristics. So if you have characteristics and skill, each time you get one, whichever is higher is the number of green dice you have. The secondary is your lower number, is the number of yellow dice you have. So there's a nice synergy there.
Minor correction.
Yes.
It's the number of green dice that get converted into yellow dice.
Correct. Thank you. That's what I was saying. The green dice become yellow dice based on the lower number of the two that you have, skill and characteristic. Yes. And so here you'll see that with, actually, I don't remember who it was that I first opened. So we're going to go with the first character. Emiko, you're up. So if we're going to have Emiko do a medicine check here, then we would see she has 2 ability, 1 proficiency. And if we open it, she gets a total of those 3 dice, because medicine is based on intelligence, and she has 3 intelligence. So 3 is the total number of dice. Skill is 1, so 1 becomes yellow. And that gives her the dice pool to roll. Now, there is other dice. This other blue dice here called a boost dice is anything circumstantially that helps. So if she has the right tools, good lighting, something like that, it could then be boosted up. Looks like someone decided to make it difficulty 2. Maybe that's what it defaulted to. I wasn't paying that close attention because I was talking about the other things.
Yeah, I think that's the default difficulty if you don't change it, is 2.
Okay. And then let's say they're bleeding profusely and have a problem. Then she could get a setback. And that is an example of kind of a situation that you can wind up with and how it looks. That creates the dice pool. You then roll the dice pool. And you will see that, yeah, you will see that chat can't quite see it all the way, but there is 2 success and a triumph, because the number of successes and the number of failures cancel each other out. Luckily, since we're on VTT, it calculates it for you. And a triumph is something very good. There's also a despair, which is something really bad. Basically, crit fail, crit success. Not exactly, but that means that she has succeeded with 2 and has 1 triumph. Make sense so far? System's new to some people here, so that's why we're going over this.
Yeah. And it sounds like she did really well on that roll. Like 2 successes and a triumph. That sounds really good.
Yeah, that is. Okay. That is
so like for somebody like me that has,
Well, I am good at what I do.
I've only played Pathfinder and I've only in CPR. So that would constitute something like heroic or epic or something.
That's sort of.
Okay.
So let's go with your character. Let's say you make a attack roll with your staff.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And the standard difficulty is 2, just defaults to that. And are you just going to attack, or is there anything else that's going on?
No, just attack's fine.
Okay. There's no bonuses. There's no difficulties to give a setback. It's just straight up, you're hitting a practice dummy. And you're seeing how you do.
I'm training.
Yep. And so you just hit it, and that's what you get.
Did not do
Your
well.
check failed. You got 4 advantage.
Okay.
So you didn't succeed, but you got an advantage.
So like I failed, but I learned from my mistake.
Advantages.
Go for it.
I was going to say advantages are like a resource you can expend on positive outcomes to the action. So, for example, if you had hit, your weapon has a crit rating of 3, for example. You can spend 3 advantages to trigger a critical hit.
Oh, all right.
And the critical hit is a separate table where you roll percentile generally, and that can vary based on things like vicious weapons or things like that increase the crit rate or the crit effect by giving you a bonus to the roll. And then it determines the critical effect. And you can also use advantages on other things that DM will present us with, like options. Things like recovering a strain, you can spend an advantage on that. Things like that.
Or in this situation where you haven't succeeded, perhaps your goal here is to part of your goal here is to look like you're doing a really good job and be showy to the people that might be watching. And so what we could do is we could say, well, there are people watching, and so we can use some of these advantages to represent that they are very impressed, even though you didn't necessarily do the thing you were trying to do. You're so showy that you use this failure to show them what happens when you fail, and you actually teach them a good lesson, and this actually goes in your favor socially. So we think about the things that we might be looking to achieve. What is the narrative here? What are we trying to do? Not only am I trying to hit this thing, but these are the circumstances, and we build what those advantages might do, not because we succeeded, but because it benefits us in either a different way or a way that works for what we're trying to do.
Okay.
Progresses the story in a different way. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll describe. Thank you both. And Malakoff and Matt have both played this system before, so I will be relying on them to share insights that I don't yet have, as I have not played the system. So I have no problems lending their knowledge to all of us, since they're willing.
Tell you what, the learning curve is going to be way, way smoother with the auto calculation of results.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time going, what does this roll mean? What is this symbol again? When you first start playing, until you've memorized it, it's a big hurdle to the learning.
Yeah, and with it auto calculating like that means that you just know, and so all you have to worry about is what you can do with those outcomes.
Yeah, that's nice.
And the benefit of having dice like this is that we can actually use the situation that we have to give you different odds, different dice to represent, hey, this might be dark, or it might be muddy, or it might be there might be some people that don't like you or whatever. And so we can change the odds by adding dice. And when we see, even if we see that it's gone a certain way, we can use what happened on those dice specifically to narrate something in this as well. So, if we added a black because it was a a setback due to vision because it was dark, and then that black generated a failure, and then that failure resulted in a failure, we can then use our result to say, well, it was because of the darkness. We can give it a narrative,
Yep.
a narrative thrust, and maybe you failed, but with advantages, and you could say, well, I know it was darkness that caused this, so I'm going to use those advantages to perhaps draw my torch. Not lit yet, but draw my torch for the next action, so that I can defeat this darkness, right? So you build based on all of the situation that you're generating, and every time we come up to a situation, it's going to be described, and not only is it going to be described in words, but it's going to be described by dice, and you get to actually put dice into your pool to represent what the situation looks like and be able to interpret the narrative based on that.
Well said, friend. Thank you. So, if you can see on the dice there in the screen, you can actually see the icons on the dice. And if you can't remember what they are, if you click it, it'll actually pop it open and you can see.
You don't have to click it. You can just mouse over it. It says 2 advantages or 1 advantage. Yep.
So, as he was saying, the blue dice, D6s, are things that you do that give you something advantageous. The black ones are ones that make something more difficult.
There's also where you can coordinate with another person, and when you're helping, you can contribute either your skill or your attribute to the effort. And so, like, if you were trying to do something that requires brawn, but you have a high skill rating in it and a low brawn, you might ask me to help, and I would contribute my brawn plus your skill, and that's how you determine our shared dice pool. Additionally, you can assist somebody on an action to give them, like, the blue dice, the boost dice. If you're trying to climb a wall and I give you a boost up, that will give you a boost die.
That makes sense.
Cool.
Any questions, puppy meat? Sorry, had to cough right there.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Azrael?
I'm fine, thank you.
Heather?
I'm also good for now.
Cool. Just want to make sure. So. All right. So that's some system things out of the way. So just want to make sure we got that over, because that's going to become relevant here in just a moment. But I figured we should take a moment to talk it over so that we made sure we get the initial understanding out of the way. So I am going to change scenes.
We like changing scenes until we don't like changing scenes.
Ooh, we like changing scenes, those nice peaceful moments. Then the combat comes, and then we're like, oh man.
Where is the one? I forgot to break these up into categories like I was going to do yesterday, but for some reason that didn't happen. So strange. There it is. Yeah. So, this is the town that the academy is located in.
It's such a cute little place.
See? What the hell?
You guys able to see everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Cool.
Quite in depth.
Wait,
This is
zoomed
cool.
in? Okay, you should be able to zoom out.
It's a very cool map. I like it a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had to pay for this, but I think it was worth it.
Oh yeah.
It looks so good. And it made it so we could start a whole lot quicker. It was worth it. So, this is the town the academy is in.
Is the academy all the way at the back? Is that what that is?
That's part of it.
Mhm.
We'll
Okay.
get into that. So, there is a labeled version that I'm going to pull up that have buildings that have the interior spaces. Just know those are the ones that have pre-generated interior spaces, so I know which ones I can use for things. Don't think that the names of them are what they are. But I wanted to show you this first, so you have just the overlay that we'll typically use once we get down the other part. But I need to go to the unlabeled, or to go to the labeled ones so that I can remember what things is which for me. But I will view it and let you guys stay there while I deal with over here. So the top there, those four structures you're talking about, is the university's or the academy's grounds where the headmaster and stuff are. The whole city here is actually the academy, with the outlying village there on the right being a place where they they're in charge of the food and farming and stuff for providing for the academy. So it's its own town, but they work with the academy. So everything within the walls is technically the academy ground. Now, some of them are other people's homes and businesses, but it is the academy's authority. Now, overlooking this scene, there is a mountain. On their mountain, there is a large abode. That is you find out when you get here, is the Grandmaster's abode. Kind of like in my picture over there. Right there. Big abode on a mountain. That is the Grandmaster, who is in charge of, well, he's in charge of all the schools of the academy, which have multiple, there's different schools, different practices. He's over all of them, everything that happens at the school, and that's his residence. Kind of like a king, as it were, and that's his castle, sort of thing. But not, because it's different hierarchy, sort of thing. Here there is a tea house, a pagoda. It's kind of a meeting area and such. Is how it's used. There's a tea house, inn that is utilized to house the current year's students, and that is located in the lower left. You will see that there is like it's a dual structure. So half the structure is for residents of people staying, and the other part is for bathhouse and food and such. Tea house is located just south of the Academy Grandmaster's houses, which is this cutoff area on the top that you asked about. There is one that has a little pond. That is a tea house that is used by the academy for different things. Across from the area you'll be staying in, there is a store. So you'll be doing your shopping there. So I'm going to come back to your map so I can now click. So you all will be staying here. You should be able to see a little circle there pinging where I'm showing you. That is where you'll be staying. That is the inn and bathhouse is there. Across the street from it is this building. This is the store. General goods store. Those are places you'll primarily be going. You need to get gear, you go there to buy it. this is the tea house, which is a place you'll be having your meetings and whatnot. That you sit down and discuss and things. The area over here is the pagoda that I mentioned. And then the master's houses are here. And supporting village, of course, is the one off outside. Any questions?
No, everything looks great.
Where was the pagoda again? You mentioned a pagoda.
It's over here.
Okay, and that's used for
Ceremonies, events like that.
okay. And the grounds in front of it, I assume, are like the meeting grounds.
Yeah, this is just a open area where people can stand and talk and visit and have access to, hearing from there and everything. So, those are the places that have pre-built maps that we'll be utilizing. Now, that doesn't mean the other buildings have no use. Just for right now, they're placeholders until I have something I need to use them for. Except this one. This one has something else that we'll get into later. For now, when you get here, you are told to take up lodgings in the inn, and that you will later be called over to the grounds in front of the pagoda, where they will welcome those who are here to try to get entry into the academy. The hopefuls, the potentials. So, go ahead and describe your character as they get here after this journey, based on how rough their journey has been, and how they get in and set up their home in this lovely inn. If it will help, I can change the scene to that inn so you can see what it looks like. If that
Yes,
would help.
please.
Okay. So this is the ground floor. They have eating area. They have some baths on the other side, and then upstairs.
It's all black.
Go to the... Yep. It's what?
All black.
All black. Perfect. And then upstairs is going to be all of the... I'm going to quickly show chat this.
Yeah, if you look on the stream, you can see it.
This is the upstairs where a lot of the bedrooms are.
I hate to interrupt. It's also black for me. Is it something I'm meant to do to make it load, or is
If
it
it's
intentional?
black for you, it's normal because of this.
Lighting rules.
It should be magically not black now.
Oh, lack of tokens.
It is still black.
You guys should be able to see now. Can you not?
I am still unable.
There may be
Yeah, I see
lighting.
as well.
You may have to enable vision and lighting.
The door's
That's what
closed.
we're about to check.
That's part of it.
Pardon?
It could be vision and lighting. I'm checking that.
Yeah,
Token vision.
it's vision
This is
enabled.
token vision.
I'm gonna help. Vision enabled. Vision enabled. And vision enabled. That should be everyone. No. Vision enabled.
How about now?
Yes.
Yep. Able to see. Partial.
Yeah, you shouldn't see the whole scene. You should see what your token's able to see. So, if you guys want to meet on your way in and talk, cool. If you want to just go into the inn and grab a table, that works too. But however you guys want to handle it.
Yes, my character will get there and look at the place, look at the outside, and she'll probably just go in and go find a seat, not really paying mind to anyone.
Apparently the bear's running into people's bedrooms and running all over the place.
I'm just finding a room. That's all I'm doing.
Are we supposed to find a room or a seat in the tavern?
Typically, you would talk to the innkeeper to find out.
Okay, where's the innkeeper?
I'm assuming at
I
the
didn't
front.
want to go into the bathhouse because I figured that's like there's people in there.
So,
Assuming the innkeeper's somewhere at the front, right?
I suppose I will.
yeah. Give me a moment here. When you come in, there'll be someone to either greet you that is in this area or right inside this area.
I will approach and bow humbly. I am Zhang Guo, Guo, and I am here to stay at the inn while hoping to enter the academy. Is there a room reserved for me?
Let me see about the rooms. Go ahead and take a seat for now. And
I
you
will
see
go
that
sit
there's
down.
different people here playing games, some drinking tea, some having food, some drinking wine, various things.
Witnessing that, I will mimic pretty much exactly what he did.
Okay. And they will say the same.
You will see that I'm wearing, like, I am very, like, road weary looking and dusty. Everything is patchwork. My backpack, you can't even tell what the original color was because so much of it is patchwork. And then I'll go find a seat, you know, kind of off to the out of the way of everybody else.
So the relief facilities are to the north. The kitchens, they're labeled as such, are to the north of the room as well. The south is private rooms for dining. And then all the rest of the areas, you can just basically take any of the seats around there. Then there's the stage for the musician who's playing music.
I'll be back in a second.
How does 47 and Yang appear? Scene.
They walk in a bit confused, almost like unsure if they're in the right spot, but before they really bother to really ask some questions, they step inside, completely forgetting how their clothing may appear, completely ragged and torn and covered in dust. The dog's paws track a bit of mud as well. They walk up to the innkeeper, almost unsure if they're the right person to talk to, and they say, this is the place, yeah? Not really elaborating further than that.
It depends on what you mean by the place. Your dog's paws need to either be cleaned or he can stay outside. But if you're here for the academy, then yes, this is the right place.
Oh, that's good
And
then.
they're completely not taken back by your appearance at all, which is probably something you're not used to.
They squint a bit hesitantly and kind of just look at the man. They're a bit too hesitant to leave the dog outside too far from them, so they haphazardly dust the dog off in the lobby. And
if you need water or a rag, there is some out front. You're welcome to use those. We'd be thrilled for you to do so if that is what you need.
Is it free? I haven't got anything on
The
me.
academy sponsors it. So for you, yes, for now.
Oh, well, lovely. Hesitantly, they step outside and dust the dog off and go to sit somewhere with the others, or in the appropriate spot.
Young is actually driving a wagon that perhaps there are other prospective students or maybe some students that are returning from the docks, and he is driving the wagon to deliver them here. There is a relief driver to drive the wagon back to where it came, and he will make sure that all of the other guests that he has with him, either existing students or professors or visitors, are disembarked properly before he disembarks himself. He will carry in their luggage, whatever they have, and place it in the room. And then he goes out, grabs his own stuff, shakes the hand of the other driver, and comes in to join them. He then will act kind of lost. He'll look around and he'll look to this person at reception, and he will say, hello, young. I come for university, for college.
Thing. I love it. Yeah, so they're like, welcome, take a seat and enjoy yourself. We'll have rooms prepared shortly.
If anyone of you need help with your bag, you ask. Gyang.
Very well. So I need to grab this because I completely forgot that I needed this. Because why would I remember? That would be funny. Needed. You know, when you don't have time to do things, you get to do things on the fly. It's great.
You love Gyang? Help me, Gyang.
Young is great.
Yes. Gyang, help.
All right. I am quickly pulling this guy in because he's relevant to the scene. And then I will continue here in just a moment. Bear with me.
I have now decided what my inspiring phrase for this accent is going to be, for this voice is going to be. I'm going to be channeling the moment in Mrs. Doubtfire when Robin Williams is pretending to be one of the many people applying for jobs. And this particular voice he was using was, I am job. I am job. I am job. So I'm going to channel that. Because that's good.
All right. So after a bit, you guys all are somewhere in this lovely room. Take your pick. Be at a table. Or around the fire, wherever you'd like.
Yes. I imagine that there's some refreshments.
Mm-hmm. You can get food.
Yeah, so she probably got like tea and is just sitting at her table drinking her tea.
You're sitting down with me. Is that or is it no? That's 47. That's
No,
sitting with me.
I'm
Sorry.
way in the back over here.
Okay.
Okay. So as you guys are at your places, eating, drinking, whatever it is you're doing, Matt, is that where you want Ging to be?
I want him nearby, and he's going to be standing awkwardly, shifting from foot to foot, waiting for someone to need him to do something.
So as you're there, all of a sudden the doors open, and this fairly substantial individual steps in. Not quite as big as Zengetsu, but fairly large for a human, fairly muscular, and the room kind of goes quiet. And the innkeepers both bow to him very respectfully.
I seeing what they do, I stand up and also bow to him.
And I will mimic the others.
Yes, he'll also bow.
I'm just going to sit here and pay no mind.
Pay no mind.
It will be obvious to anyone who's watching me that I'm probably not very sure what I'm doing, and I'm obviously just kind of trying to mimic what everyone else is doing.
Yep. My
47
is listening.
47 isn't really used to having proper etiquette, so he kind of just stands there for a bit and kind of catches on, oh, everyone else is doing this, so he kind of just bows half-heartedly. Not quite sure what we're bowing.
Yeah, you're good. The guy comes and speaks with a very substantial voice and fairly loud. Welcome, potentials, to the academy. Your test begins tomorrow. Be there at dawn at the pagoda, if you wish to enter. Those of you who fail to do so, good luck on your adventures elsewhere. I would recommend you getting a good night's sleep. You'll need it in the morrow. And we'll see you then. And he exits. A few of the other people at the tables like nod and go to the innkeeper and start getting their rooms and start getting assigned rooms and head out.
Yep. And with that, Emiko will leave her cup on the table because I assume they're going to come clean it up anyway. So just leaves it on the table, goes to one of the keepers and asks them, "Is my room ready?"
May I get your name, please, miss?
Emiko Yamamoto.
Very well, we have you here. Please proceed to the top floor. And it gives you a room number up there. I don't think they actually have them numbered on the screen, so I will have to do that.
And
Is it just you, or are you with someone?
It's just me, and she might have like her handmaiden to help her get settled.
We are together again!
Time for some thrilling heroics.
Thanks.
Sorry, I was dealing with child.
No worries.
Might have a handmaiden with her, you said?
Yeah. Her chambermaid is with her. Her noble self brought her chambermaid.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sense of something. There is one issue I'm seeing with the guy's maps that I need to actually message him about. That's okay. Rest is all done. I'm not going to complain about one minor issue. All right, I'm going to drop you in a room here. Go to that scene, you'll have it.
Okay.
Let's see. I will give you... mention your family in their prestige, so she will be nice and give you this one. All right. Anyone else?
Yeah. So I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna walk up to the innkeeper and I will ask, is there a room prepared for me as well?
What is your name?
My name is Brother Zhang Gaowei.
Right. They write your name down.
It's just me.
Hmm?
It's just me.
Yeah. So they write your name
I also ask, are we allowed to have incense in our room?
Yes, as long as it doesn't bother the other visitors, that is fine.
Is there a way
Others
that I
don't
can
make
have
it
a
too
room?
strong, but it's very
Is there-
common that there's some.
Sure. Can I have a room kind of farther away so I don't disturb others?
Yeah, see what we can do.
Sure, no worries. Thank you.
So we will send you to your.
Young will go up to. Sorry, you go finish.
No, you're good. Go for it.
Young will go up to the receptionist again and say, yes, Gyang Tai, I can go in room after all others have chosen.
Yeah,
Give
very
me
sweet.
leftover. And then he will go back to where he's standing and he will just lurk there, shifting side to side, waiting for someone to require him to help them get to their room.
Oh, this is going to be such a fun game. Such a fun game. I meant that in a loving manner.
Hey, welcome in, Amiga Ghost Marine. Thank you for being here.
Indeed. Welcome. Minecraft. See. All right. So that's 3 of you.
I'll be waiting until everybody else seems to have gone.
Can't both be doing that. Somebody's got to pick last.
Heather, are you trying to talk?
Oh, I was good. I'm not sure if anyone wanted to I can go next if you like.
Go for it.
47 sheepishly walks up to the table without really making too much eye contact with the assistant and just kind of mutters under his voice, I heard there'd be lodging here.
Yes. Here's your number. And they send you to where you can go and have lodgings on the 2nd floor.
Should I be on the 2nd floor? Because I'm still in the.
Yes,
I'm still in
but
the
not yet. You are
Okay, no
actually
worries.
there. You're just not there with your scene.
Okay. It's fine.
We will get there.
Are there other people here that are like for the academy beyond the player characters?
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Okay, I'll wait until it looks like most of them have gone and aren't trying to approach, and then I'll approach and I'll obviously be clutching something in my hand, and I'll sheepishly ask and lean in. How much is it to stay here for a night?
It's been sponsored by the Academy. We do welcome you to our lovely abode and hope you will enjoy your stay.
I'll breathe a big sigh of relief and be like, oh, that's great. Thank you.
However, if you want to know the price, if you do not stay with the Academy, we can talk then.
I'll nod.
All right. Eventually, everyone is giving their room assignments. The second floor. And this is what it looks like.
You want to
Oh
make the
my.
real me now?
Allow me to introduce myself.
That
We
is
are the Emperor's chosen.
small, which is fine.
What's small?
The room.
Yeah, smaller than I'm used to, but I guess it will have to do. This is my closet.
It's better than outside.
That's fine. And I mean, like,
My closet.
I mean, go doesn't feel like that. I mean, this is fine. Like, he's a very humble priest, so this is more than enough. And he, when he comes into his room, he finds like the table in the corner with the incense already there, and he sets he does his normal routine of setting up the, like, lighting the incense and blowing it out and letting it just slow burn, and putting it on the holder and everything, and just kneeling down in front of it and starting to just like meditate until someone calls for him.
Nice.
Young will go back downstairs and up to reception, and he'll say, Young thinks there been problem. Young has big room.
Oh, you're sweet, dear. You helped out, so the coachman, who's usually the one who has to do it all himself, said to give you a little nicer place. We hope you don't mind.
No one else?
Do I hear that?
Not unless they're
You'll see him go downstairs and then come back up again, and like opening and closing the door a couple of times, and he'll sort of wander up and down the corridor, and he'll like look into whatever rooms, and he'll say, "Need help? Anyone need help?"
One
Do
person
you knock on?
raises
Do
your
you
help,
open my door?
throws a shoe at you.
If your door's closed, he won't knock. No, he'll just be like peering into rooms that have their doors open.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine's closed.
When I go into the room, I'll see that 47's already in there, and I'll nod politely and then tuck my backpack under the bed, and then kind of like tentatively lie down on the bed and just put my hat over my face and probably go to sleep, because this is probably the first time he's ever slept in an actual bed.
And it's actually quite comfortable now.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been on the floor or in a hammock or
right
on the side of the road, the bedroll.
So you and 47 are probably both like, wait, I get a bed?
This isn't the dirt. This isn't like in the back of someone's barn. What the hell?
Yeah, it's actually clean.
Doesn't smell like horse.
And they actually, as you guys are going up to your rooms and getting your rooms from them, they do tell you all that there's baths available for those of you who need to wash up from your travels. To some of you, it's like, there is baths if you would like, and others there's like, there's baths to wash from your travels.
After I've got my bag stowed, I'd probably go to the bath then, and I would attempt to not only bathe, but first wash my clothes in the bath too.
And those clothes,
I'd probably wash it.
They'd probably disintegrate.
No, they wouldn't. They'd be good for travel. I above the table, I bought them as a heavy robe armor.
Okay. So after I finish my meditation, I'll probably also go go bathe for a little bit before I go to bed. Bathing always helps me like find my zen, like in character, and so I get a really good night's sleep.
Okay. So,
Gang will go
this
in
is
there
going
to use a face washer, but not anything more than that. I don't think he's gonna like actually go into the bath. He's just gonna like maybe with a warm or a hot sponge, just like, or a, some sort of towel, just sort of mop his head, make sure his face is a little less muddy, and then he's good. Just after that.
And this is where
Well-
you are going to have as your base of operations for the foreseeable future as soon as you start your schooling at the academy. So these
Well,
rooms are probably
Emiko
going to
is
be
definitely taking a bath.
Yeah.
She's definitely gonna she's getting every she's having her handmaid get everything prepared for her, and she's gonna go take a nice hot bath.
So I'm going to quickly jump over to the first floor to show chat it. There is lovely baths right here. There's a sauna, hot baths, and a larger bath. Because in a lot of Asian cultures, communal baths are a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm probably getting some stares when I'm washing my clothes in the bath.
There's an extreme like the cleanliness is like a very very high on like from a sense of honor standpoint.
Puppy, I don't have the transition trigger set up yet. That's something I haven't been able to get to. But
Gotcha. Okay.
Technically, as soon as you
So
hit
just-
this midpoint there,
Uh-huh.
it would transition you. I haven't gotten that
Okay,
in place yet.
Gotcha.
So they didn't require you to have levels, which is a module. So they're separate scenes.
Okay.
But I mean,
Well, you can just imagine me going down
exactly
to the
It is
bath.
a beautiful map, otherwise, and everything. They did a really good job.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I can't exit my room.
Open the door first.
I did open the door, and it says I collided with the wall. My room is 4 squares. It's not like anything else.
Well, there is this adjoining shared space.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah.
What the hell? Like,
What?
I was trying to move to the left, and like it put me back in the room. Oh my god!
Because I moved you back, because I put you back where you were.
Oh, all right. Never mind.
You've controlled.
I was trying to walk around.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
So yeah, you guys get your evenings. How many of you? What time do you get up? The following day?
What time is dawn?
We'll say 6.
Almost noonish. Yes.
What?
Probably good.
Like groggily almost noon.
I will get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah, an hour before dawn at least.
I was gonna say probably about 3 hours and go exercise for 2 and prepare and get stretched and ready beforehand.
Okay. Yeah, you all were
Emiko will get up around 8 a.m.
That's
okay.
okay.
You were told that if you don't get there before dawn, then you're saying that you're done with the academy. You all were told that.
Correct.
Yeah. You have to meet. Yeah, you have to meet at the pagoda at dawn.
Okay.
So 2 people are quitting the campaign already? What?
Yep. Bye.
We don't have alarm clocks back this time.
I'll plan to be there an hour before dawn then.
Yeah. Same here.
Okay. So you actually plan to be there on time. That's good to know.
Yes. Emma
Yes.
Cole gets there on time, all right?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there early.
Okay. So we're going to hop back to the town map. You guys can see there what it looks like. Whoops. That one. And so you all gather out front of the place.
I'll stay towards the back of the courtyard.
You're bigger than you should be on the map, but that's not the point. The point is you guys can see that you're there in front of the pagoda area. And the guy you saw yesterday is up in the pagoda, overseeing everyone. And right at dawn, as he said, as the sun comes up and lights the area right in front of the pagoda, the grounds there, it's like, welcome, candidates. Welcome, those of you who have made it. We will have you all enter through the pagoda, and downstairs will be my associates who will take your names and what activities you feel you can show us to show your talents. These are not martial skills, as that will come in a later test. For now, it is non-martial challenges that you can show us you have a breadth of knowledge that exceeds simply fighting. Please enter in a nice orderly line and enter your names and your skills.
I'm happy to go first.
That raises the question.
Go ahead.
Abilities.
What about abilities?
Oh, they've been built. Never mind. I should drag those on.
Yes, I've been trying to work hard for you to get the things that you need, and they're there. So enjoy. Obviously, you
augment
will
barrier.
need to manually roll for them. Like, they don't do anything; they're just information.
So,
what were those for? Gotta find the document. But I will be going through last. I'll be last in line.
I make my way down the stairs, and I speak to the associate about my skill. And do I have my pack with me?
That's up to you if you brought it or
not. I'd bring my pack with me. It has my cooking set in it, and I bring out my cooking set and I let them know that I am the cook for my village's harvest festival every year, and I'm happy to make an example for you. I have some, what I'm told are amazing mushroom dumplings that I'm more than happy to allow you to sample if you have the ingredients.
You have till noon to do so.
I bow and say thank you, and I leave.
Kyung will also be one of the first ones down there. He'll go down there. So it's just like a person that's standing there, like with a piece of paper or something to write on, like what we're doing, or is there some sort of...
Yeah, they have a few people who are taking notes. They each have a scroll and are recording.
Okay.
names and talents.
Young will go down there and he'll look at these different people with different scrolls. He'll go up to each of them and he'll say, "I am Kiam. Nice to meet you." And he will bow, and he will he'll try to remember their names. You don't have to have the names just at the moment, but I'm just saying that he would take note of their names, and then he would say, "So, what do we do? You got your paper there?"
Yes, so I wrote down your name is Gyeong. What skill is it you're going to show that shows you're a talented individual? Something you're good at.
I'm good at driving. He will also say, and Kyung can inspire others to work together.
We don't have a group for you to go with. Let's go with your driving. We'll see if we can get a carriage ready for you.
All right. Young will bow and say, "Yes, Young drive." And he'll go back up the stairs.
Okay.
Hey, good. Maybe you can be Emiko's chauffeur.
If she asks, then
You're gonna be
Let's see,
carrying
then
around
we'll have to change your name to Daisy.
See
One of my-
the overstuffed backpack with trunks stacked on it and strapped to it. And
yeah, one of my initial goals is to get both a land and a sea-worthy vehicle as part of my purchases. So, it's going to be a little while before we get there, but that's part of his goal is to be able to do that. So,
All right, nice. So that's the two of you. Who's next? I gotta go deal with the child. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I'll go. So Emiko walks over. She walks very gracefully and elegantly. So no slouching here. But yeah, she'll walk over. And my name is Emiko Yamato of the Yamato family. And she will say that she has been trained.
She'll tell you by noon how many people she can poison to death.
I'll show you. Yes. Like anyone you want dead, just come to me.
No, don't say
But
that.
no, she will say that she has been trained in the arts of healing.
Nice.
So it's like, I've been trained in the arts of healing. And she's very what's the word? Punctual, or like very good at the speaking, unlike me. She speaks with an elegant tone.
Good at the speaking, yeah?
Yeah, so they're like, yes, the Himiko family, we've heard of you. What talents are you going to put on for us, Himiko?
I have been trained in the arts of healing. So, something around there.
Very well. We will find someone who has an injury that they need dealt with and test how well you do.
All right. Very well. And she will she also like ask like when are the proceedings going to happen? What time?
As soon as we find the individual who's good with having you experiment your skills on them. We will call you
From the back of the line, you'll just see a hand raise up. from behind everybody else, as if I'm volunteering.
You'd be volunteering?
Well, she will.
Yeah, like
She-
I would hear them say, as soon as we have somebody who's willing to let you try it on them, and you will see a hand raised up and learn the line.
Hello. I mean, Emako can injure you just as well as heal you. So she injures you just to heal you.
Right.
How do you think we get business?
Do you have an injury currently, Zengetsu?
No, I don't. I'm volunteering to be injured, essentially,
I
so that you
currently
can
am
heal.
injured.
Okay.
But she
So,
will
above the
like
table, I was
nod her
gonna
head
originally present
and
myself.
put on like a fake smile, but she's like perfect it so well that it looks real. And she will walk off.
Okay. That leaves 47 and Zengetsu to say what they're going to do for their talent.
47 kind of sits shifty-eyed, looking at the others of four, hesitantly walking up to the person in charge and kind of staring at them before actually speaking, almost looking them up and down. Information, you need information. How
actually even
much
look
of
at
that
you.
did I need to put in?
Just so you're aware,
Oh.
Heather, they don't even look up at 47. They're like, name.
They seem almost hesitant to give you one, as they don't technically have one.
Name.
47, the number.
What skill are you going to perform for us today?
I haven't got much of my own, but he does. He nods down towards the dog.
What skill are you going
Beast
to
timing.
perform today?
Beast timing.
Very good. We'll call you when we're ready. Next.
All right.
Is there anybody in line ahead of me, or is this it? You're up to
It's probably towards the end at this point.
Okay.
You're cycling through.
I'll
You get in there.
mimic the bow that I've seen everybody doing and do that again, and I'll say Zangetsu.
What is your talent you're going to perform today?
I can take a beating, so if that Emiko girl needs somebody to practice on and show off her talents.
That is
I
a
can do
martial
that.
skill. Please select a non-martial skill.
I can heal my wounds.
That is also a martial skill if it's your own wounds. Are you trying to heal someone else's wounds?
I think I can do that. I've never tried.
Do you have medicine?
No, I have heal the power.
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
magic.
Very well. We'll see what we can do. We'll find
I'll bow
someone.
again and then kind of shuffle away.
So, after half an hour, it's now probably about 7:30. You hear Zengetsu, Himiko.
I'll go immediately directly over there without hesitating.
Emiko will look over and start walking over.
There's the
Imagine
individual you saw.
more of a saunter over.
It's what?
I said I'd imagine it's more of a saunter.
Yeah. You get into this area and they have two individuals there who are injured and need of wound remedies. And they're like, take your patient, please demonstrate what you can do to the inspector. And you see the guy who's you saw yesterday come into the inn is standing there watching. Proceed. Show me your skill.
Right. Emma Cohen phase, she walks up to the patient and she starts examining the patient, seeing where they're injured and if she can see it or if it's more of like a internal thing.
Okay. Roll a Matt. What would be an inspection or perception kind of check?
So what she's trying to figure out the wound.
Yeah.
Yes, she wants to see if the wound is visible, or if not, then she'll ask them where does it hurt and stuff like that. Because she wants to find out if it's something internal or if it's just like maybe a puncture wound or something, or maybe
So
like a broken arm.
I guess that would be. I mean, she's really just making social stuff to figure out more about it.
That makes sense.
She's like, you're probably not going to roll a like there is a perception skill. That's mostly for like searching for stuff and whatever. You could go that way if you really wanted.
First she wants to examine them, and then to find out a little bit more, then she'll start asking questions.
I just do a medicine check.
Yeah, trying to figure out what it is. Yeah,
just skill medicine.
For medicine check then.
All right.
I'm going to walk up to the other patient. Is the wound visible? Is there a wound visible?
Give me just a moment here.
Do I have to change the difficulty at all, or is it fine? Because it's on 2 by default. So
yeah, it gives you 2 by default. You can just reduce it to 1.
How do I? Oh my gosh!
Downgrade difficulty.
How do I change this?
No,
I see. We're good.
You got it.
Yeah. I was like, I thought it was like you click it and then you type in. So I was just kept adding. So I'm like, no, that's not it.
Yeah, left click, right click.
Yeah. So we're good now.
And yes, they both have visible wounds.
Okay.
Nice.
1 success, 3 advantage.
All right. So since she sees
to leverage your advantage,
3 advantages. That's a lot.
Well, she sees the wound. Do I know like what kind of wound? Like, it's a puncture wound.
Well, with 3 of those advantages, you could actually use some of those to find out what it is, and therefore give this patient advice on how to avoid that for the next time. It's up to DM how many that will be, but that's something that you could potentially do.
Okay. Yeah. Well, she will definitely like figure out what type of wound, so she knows the best course of action to tend to the wound. And then when she tends to the wound, she will probably give something for the pain. She would ask, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, how much pain they're in.
Okay.
And determining on that, she'll give them some medicine for the pain. And yeah, she'll like bandage them all up and ask them how this happened. So maybe she can give some advice so to help them not let it happen.
Okay. Yeah, so you're able to determine that, and they tell you that it happened via a farming accident. and they were pulled through their fence by an animal that got spooked, causing them to have a large chunk of wood, oversized sliver, jammed into them.
Yeah. I guess like the advice I can give them is like just be wary of your surroundings.
You don't need to come up with this. Like, if you don't want puppy, you can
tell
just
them how
say,
to clean the wound, what infections to look
Okay.
out for with that, what are potential
Alright.
infections that could happen from that.
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Change your bandages every day.
yeah, so you can say, spend these advantages to make sure that the wound is properly cleaned and to give general advice on what to do with it over the next while or something like that, right? So that, you know, you don't have to go into like super amounts of detail, like trying to figure out what to do. You're just like, well, I'm gonna.
Well, I'm serious.
You know,
Be wary of your surroundings.
yeah, I mean, it's fair enough.
There you go.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So, and with that, she'll give them the medicine and say that you are good to go.
Okay.
Awesome.
Zengetsu.
Yeah. So while that's going on, I'll go over to the patient I got, and I'll examine, where the wound is, whatever the wound is, and I will kneel down and meditate for a while, and then I will attempt to heal the wound.
Okay. 2 success, 2 threats. Ooh.
Cool.
Are you have any idea how you want to have those threats come in?
Let's see here. Normally, it would be 1 strain is healed per advantage. So maybe it causes strain when I heal him. It's painful.
I can see that. You want to take 2 strain is what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you exert yourself, you're able to do it, but in exerting yourself, you feel a bit weary from it.
Okay.
What's going on? Dog's acting like he's not been given any attention today, and I know he has.
Does that heal enough, or do I need to continue healing?
Yeah. We'll have it be where at least it closes the wound and gets him to where he's safe to continue. It's going to mean that he probably still has some natural healing that he needs to undergo, but you get the initial healing closure of the wound.
Okay, and then I will just stand quietly out of the way.
Yep. Spectre looks at you both. Well done. Thank you for that. You may proceed back to the inn and spend your day how you wish till noon. At noon, we'll call you all back. And then they move on.
Okay, make an awkward bow and leave.
Right. Yumiko, you do the same?
Yep. She'll start heading back.
Okay.
And she'll like go grab some tea and a bite to eat.
Nice.
While she waits.
Next they call 47.
He stands a bit stiff on hearing his name called such an authoritative voice, and then hesitantly steps forward, the dog in tow.
You're brought in before this large individual you saw enter the inn the night before, and it's like, I am the inspector. Demonstrate for me your skills. Just stands there. Crosses his arms, looking imposing, awaiting your demonstration. What demonstration does 47 put on? What does he do for the presentation?
I think we lost her. I think she
Yeah.
dropped. Maybe she had internet outage or something.
I heard her just now.
Oh, weird.
So just before we continue, given that
There we
we
are. Sorry.
You're back.
Hello.
Here we go.
well,
What's up? Go
What
for
did
it.
I miss?
You're asked to what you're demonstrating because you were called in for a demonstration.
Beast timing. Either give me some sort of livestock, thing on the loose, something with this one. Justice to his dog. Give me a task and I'll consider it done.
All right. They bring you to a farm on the outskirts where a animal is running a bit rampant and skittish, like it's been terrified and is bolting around. And you see that there's a hole in the fence where it looks like it may have recently went through. And they're trying to get it back in the pasture, and it's bounding around.
Do I know what kind of animal it is, or do I have to check manually?
Is what?
Do I know what kind of animal it is, or do I have to figure that out?
Yeah, you would know. So it's a horse.
Alright.
Actually, it's probably more like being an oxen. Thinking about it.
I know this. The character knows this. Do I have to? Alright.
That's a generic enough farm animal that you're like, yeah, I know that. I've seen it.
Alright. Tracks don't go too far from here. Been there right soon. Probably by a coyote or something like that. Typically with for animals like this, you want to get them sensitized, rather spookish. He walks forward towards where. By the way, is it close by, or is it it's gone? I have to go find it.
It's it's not right there. It's a ways off, and it's still very skittish. You can see a couple farmers were trying to get it, and they're now worn out sitting there, and it's still kind of skittish on edge.
Do I have to roll a dice for this, or can I just say the action and then roll the dice?
You say what you're wanting to try to do and how you're going about it, and then we say what to roll. Roll it. Go for it.
I heal the dog away from me, and I very slowly, very casually walk towards it with. I assume they have I don't know what it's called, the thing that goes over their necks. And I explain that it's important with prey animals to be desensitized and have a calm mind when near them, as to not antsy them up even further.
Okay.
So I assume the farmers are quite antsy and a bit stressed trying to get their oxen back into control.
Yeah, they were, yeah.
I'm then gored to death by a cow and I'm killed off for the rest of the campaign.
We'll see.
It's a survival check, I believe. You're attempting to tame a wild animal or handle a domesticated animal.
Yep.
So when you go to roll your check, so to do so, you would click on survival, the dice next to survival, where all of your 3 triangles, 3 greens and 1 yellow is. You would click there. You would say downgrade difficulty to make it 1.
Oh, I am blind as an actual bat. Where is that? Sorry.
On the character sheet or on the roll itself? So on the character sheet, you have a line that says survival as your skill. And to the right of that, there is a number of dice icons. You click on that, and it pops up a screen to roll survival check.
They come the dice themselves?
Yep.
Oh. Oh no. There you go. Just press roll, right?
this is where you would change what it is if there's any bonuses or setback or boost setbacks or change the difficulty, things like that. In this case, we're giving you difficulty 1, so you downgrade difficulty by 1.
Yeah, so you just click on downgrade.
Where's the button? That added one. Sorry. How do I subtract one?
Left click adds one, right click removes one.
You're on a phone, aren't you?
I'm on a Steam Deck. I honestly don't know how to right click or left click on this. Hold.
On the top, does the downgrade difficulty work? No. That changes that, not the actual dice itself. Yeah, it's right click, whatever that is. I'm not sure on a Steam Deck. I'm sorry. I don't have one to test that.
We can just roll the dice for him.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, it's not a big deal. I can open your sheet and do
I
it.
will look into that though. I'm so sorry. I am not tech savvy.
It's fine. Let's just try to figure out how to right click it for you for next time. That way you can do it, because we want you to have the fun of being able to roll it yourself too.
Gotcha.
Failed with 1 advantage.
Oh dear.
Oh, I do get gored after all.
No.
No, this isn't. Go ahead.
It's not a you get gored. You just didn't get him calmed and in the pen. So you describe the scene. Now, you got an advantage. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't.
Can I figure out what's spooking him or what's upsetting him with the advantage point?
Sure.
Do
you have any thoughts on how you want to proceed with that, or how you didn't succeed at your calming him? Because this is where you can kind of put a little scene together for your character if you want.
As I suspected, there's something like that is physically upsetting that is going rampant. There's like a snake maybe in his pen in a nearby bush, and I spot that.
So you fail to calm him and get him in the pen, because as you move back that way, he gets skittish and jumps away, and you know there's something in the pen, and so you can roll a check to find what it is causing it. But you have an idea that there's something in the pen with that advantage, that you know there's something there that's causing him to be skittish. That's good. I like that.
Gotcha.
This would be a great time for a perception check now.
What's the difficulty on the perception check?
What we'll do is we'll have fun and make it be standard 2 difficulty and give a boost. That way Heather can actually roll it this time. We'll leave it at standard difficulty and add a boost. So to the right of perception, again, you would click on the green dice, which pops it up. You will add a boost, and then you will roll.
Gotcha.
Whoa.
Ooh,
that's
2
huge.
success or 2 advantage.
And that boost was those 2 advantages, so there you go.
Yeah. That shows you where it can come in handy.
Very good.
Oh,
So
yippee.
yes, you were able...
Nothing.
Okay. Yeah, so you're able to see that there is indeed a snake slithering in one of the bushes. It's hard to see, but it is down there in the bushes, which is why he doesn't want to be near something that's a threat.
Gotcha. Can I just can I roleplay act? Do I have to roll down the dice, or can I just go?
No, you can roleplay act as well. Like at this stage, it's you show your talent by this is what you've seen. How do you want to proceed with it? So this is kind of into a scene.
These things are usually harmless. They usually come near this time of year, though. I kind of casually walk over to the pen and grab the snake. It seems a bit annoyed, but fairly content with this team of annoyance. It seems the hustle and bustle is a bit annoying actually for it as well. You can get the farmer now if you'd like. Drive him on inside. He should be fine now. Typically what you want to do for things like this is just, actually, I don't think I should be giving that advice. There's a... Mimicry is pretty common in this species. Point on, snake's gone. Do you want it? Does it belong to you? Or can I keep this? Or can I just gestures towards the...
Get rid of it. We don't want it.
Or you want to... I'll just... you kind of put it down in a separate pen. That's empty.
The other farmer there is like, I'll take it. My wife makes some good snake stew. Can I have that?
Sure, go ahead. Mighty fine skin if you're selling it. I'd like to see you later on. He hands him the snake casually and then kind of just motions at the guard like, oh, did I pass? Did I,
he takes the snake, as he takes the snake, just takes the knife out and lops its head off. He's like, I'm going to have a good dinner tonight. Walks off. The inspector there's like, all right, you can head back to the inn. We'll call you at noon for the continuation.
He collects his dog and saunters off towards the waiting place.
Very nice. Next up.
Yes, sir.
Yang. You're called.
Jeez.
Yang, we have a cart for you. I hear you'd like to drive it.
Young drive.
The inspector climbs in the back. Drive. Show me how good you are.
Okay.
Roll moto.
Well,
I just imagine
standing in the back.
I just imagine one of those little mobile games, and you have to like swipe left and right to dodge items.
Yeah.
Yes. Ooh, 3 success.
3 successes. So Young doesn't succeed with style here, but he succeeds very well. In fact, what he's going to do is that there are several bushes that look like that they're significantly spaced enough, and he starts doing slalom like with this cart and through and doing zigzags through these bushes.
Nice.
Golf clap. Golf clap.
Young drive.
Yeah, so he doesn't do anything like stunt moves or anything crazy, but he
no
is very
stunt
precise,
moves.
very skillfully.
Mm-hmm.
I just see like, so in the dog shows when they show the dogs doing their slalom, they're doing, and then that's what I see Yang doing.
He looks like an old hat at this, and he has an old hat.
So he is his hat. Got it.
He is his hat. just like man.
Oh, it's not showing me the big version of the picture. I'll have to do that next time. Excellent. And that brings us to Yahweh. They are now ready for your food delivery.
Excellent.
Talk us through it.
I went by I understand that the store is across from the inn, so I took the liberty of going into the store and looking over the goods in the store, and the mushrooms were very well kept. They looked very fresh, so I gathered a round of those, and as well as some herbs, some local herbs and spices, and flour. And I put together these wonderful mushroom dumplings that I hope will please the inspector and the others that sample the dish.
Very good.
I'm known for my These are my specialty in my village.
See how well you do. Let's have you roll your cooking check.
My crafting, yeah. Am I staying with 2 difficulty or am I going to 1?
You can go to 1.
Okay.
We're keeping it fairly simple to begin with for everyone.
Sure.
2 success and an advantage.
I'd like for the advantage to be there's a specific herb that's local to this place, this region, that I would like to especially like get, like when they taste it, taste that, to give them that sense of home.
Sense of home or the sense of local?
That's what I meant. The sense of local. Sorry.
Okay, just clarifying because it can mean different things.
It can do. It can. Yeah, you're correct.
Born here.
Yes.
So I want to make sure.
A sense of this place.
Okay. They eat that. Well done. Well done. And the associates are dismissed to go to the inn and gather everyone back at the pagoda. You all get told to return. You're already there, so you just step back outside.
Is there any left that the others can have some, or do they just toss it?
Oh, they ate them all.
Okay.
Because the inspector was really nice and gave the associates there some as well.
Oh, okay, good. That's nice. All right.
Party gets to just hear about it from you.
Okay.
And did you make them for them? But yeah, they call everyone back, and the inspector's like, "Those of you who remain have passed the first round. Well done to all of you. Those of you who are not aren't here to hear the difference." All right. So we're now going to pair off into combat pairs, and I want to see you perform your martial skills. And so they bring out some senior students to pair off with you all and have you do some martial challenges to see if you can.
I thought you were going to have us start hitting each other.
Yeah. Bloodbath. The 5 of you who remain standing last get to the end. The rest of you, you're dead. No, it's not that style of place. That would be a very different campaign.
Are they providing practice weapons?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they bring out practice weapons for everyone and hand them out. Like, take your pick on your practice weapons and demonstrate. So they clear the circle, the area here. They have everyone stand on the edges and set up an area in the center where everyone can then duke it out with practice weapons and with the one of the fellow attendees. Who wants to step up first for their martial challenge?
I will.
Go for it.
You do anything particular, or just take the weapon and strike? Talk us through it.
Oh, okay. So is it like a duel, or that I'm just supposed to strike and they're evaluating our attacking?
You have another person there that you're supposed to perform against. They're mainly just blocking and stuff. They're not attacking because they're more trained than you are. But the point is to see you actually try. See how you do.
Be holding the training sword in my hand, and I'm going to be like hesitant and looking at them and be like, "How hard do you want me to swing?"
there's a dummy there, and he takes the practice sword and just swings, and the dummy just like gets obliterated. You probably can't swing that hard.
Okay. I'm gonna concentrate for a moment. I'm gonna attempt to augment my melee attack. What are the difficulties going to be?
Standard melee.
Okay.
What's that? 2, it looks like, is standard for melee. Unless I'm missing anything.
2 is correct. A few things, though, before we go too far.
Yep.
The first thing is, this isn't on you, Malkov, but this is for everybody. I've just noticed. So in Genesis, in this system, we actually count our wounds and our strain up from 0, not down from their total. So you should start with 0 and count up as you get more and more wounded towards your threshold. And when you go over your threshold, that is when there are consequences, bad consequences. Secondly, when any magic check that requires a roll is finished, well, like once the roll has been finished, the person who is casting that magic takes 2 strain for casting that magic.
I forgot about that.
So there would have been 2 strain from your threats that you've already got there. There would be an additional 2 strain for casting the magic that you did earlier. And then this check, after this check, once it has been resolved, there will be an additional 2 strain. So you'll
there was a few hours in between then and now. So could I have recovered the strain by then?
That's up to DM.
How does strain recovery work? In
You would,
Genesis?
if you considered the training to be an encounter, which it should be, then he would heal strain at the end of the encounter. And to do that,
all of it or some of it?
No, he gets to roll. He gets to roll cool or... Give me a second here.
You're good. This is us learning. And that's why when I went and told everyone how the system works, I was very clear and said, we're learning it.
Yeah. He gets to roll... cool or discipline at the end of the encounter. So each scene is probably an encounter for this training period, at least.
Yeah.
Is that a simple test?
It's a simple test yeah. And every success recovers 1. So do that first to see how much you would have recovered. So you recovered 1, and then you recovered 1. And you would have been able to, do something with those advantages.
Could I have recovered the rest with the advantage?
That's up to DM. Let me see.
If I remember correctly, kind of the default choice, if you don't have anything else to spend advantages or threat on, is up or down on strain.
I think for training, it's probably okay, but we probably want to avoid just saying yes to just succeeding with advantages in general, but probably during training, it's probably okay. But it's up to DM. But yeah, you will get 2 from the cast at the end of the cast, either way.
Yeah.
So how many will I have?
With it. I'll need to think about it.
Yeah. So let's say for now, let's say you had
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
here
forward.
under strain in the core book, it says that strain is also a great general purpose use for extra advantages or threat during skill checks.
During skill
Yeah.
tests. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a skill test. It's a discipline skill test.
Okay. Yeah, so you can have no strain going into this then, right?
Okay, and then I'll have 2 from using augment here.
From using augment, correct? Yeah.
Let's roll the augment.
Nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
So that will
Nice.
give me, let me look at augment real quick. It'll give me +1 on the skill test. And then it's going to have no other effect, but I can concentrate to keep it going. And then I will swing as hard as I can. So light, difficulty 2, and we add another.
Them's a lot of dice. 3 success, 3 advantage.
So the advantage can trigger critical effect.
Okay.
So that would be, if it's a sword, it'd be 7, 8, 9, 10 damage.
Nice. Yeah, you're doing your attacks and you strike, and he's like, poof. He takes it, and he's like, well done.
And it would be just a very just brute force swing.
Yeah.
Good form, but just brute force. No finesse to it.
Yep. Perfect. It's just basically learning how to do it and showing that you are capable of it. So, the inspector nods to you. Well done. Next. And cycle through some others. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
I will take the quarterstaff and let's see. All right, walk me through this again.
Yep.
So,
So, you're doing a melee attack.
yeah, melee heavy.
Melee heavy with the quarterstaff.
Yep.
So if you're just going to attack, then you just click it and go. If you're going to do anything else, you explain what you're doing, and then you go from there.
Yeah, I'll just give a nice swift solid strike.
Quick question. I'm looking at this other document that someone made as a cheat sheet, and it says for two-handed, it's 3 instead of 2. Is that correct or not? Elkoff and Matt,
Three
you
what?
guys can verify core rules.
The two-handed?
Yeah.
Don't think so.
Let me look at it real
Okay.
quick here. Where are you looking at the weapon?
I'm looking at a cheat sheet reference that someone made, and I'm not convinced it's correct, so that's why I'm asking.
I mean, you can build the weapon any way you want. It's currently built to be a defensive 1 weapon. It does 2 damage plus brawn. But we can build any weapon you want in the game.
Yeah, it's just whether he needs to roll at 3 difficulty or 2 for his attack. That's what I was trying to verify.
I don't believe that there is any penalty for wielding a two-handed weapon.
The base attack difficulty, I think, is 2 unless they have defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you add defense difficulty.
That's what I thought we'd talked about, but for some reason I was seeing 3 on theirs, and that's why I was questioning what they
Hey,
said.
let me look it up. Maybe that is correct.
So it's 1-2-1. Like proficiency, ability, difficulty, 1-2-1.
It would be 1, 2, 2. 2 is
Oh,
the
okay.
basic melee
Okay.
attack
All right.
difficulty. I
Okay.
just was verifying if it requires it to go to 3 or not.
No worries.
Which
I've never done that,
they
but I
don't
don't.
believe so.
Right, here goes nothing.
I mean, it's a dummy. It isn't moving or anything.
Two-handed.
Oh. Check failed. So describe this to us. You just whiff.
Yeah.
No
I
advantages or setbacks or anything.
So I see what happens, and I apologize for missing because I'm used to the heft of my naginata, as opposed to the quarterstaff. I'm more than happy to go and take a polearm weapon and make another attempt if that's okay.
Yes, just for you to proceed.
Okay. So I will go and I will grab a halberd or whatever polearm is available, and I will make another attempt.
Wow.
Melee attack started at a difficulty of 2.
And
Regardless of weapon.
I was much better with this because I'm used to the heft of the polearm as opposed to the quarterstaff, and this attempt is a much more this is more of what it would look like if I were wielding my weapon.
Okay. They nod to you.
And I humbly bow and say thank you.
Some more. Who's up next?
I can go.
Do it.
So, Emiko is like, she's sitting on a box, before she gets in the area, and she has her handmaiden with the sun umbrella behind her, and she gets up and walks over, and I have like 2 ways. I don't know if this way will slide, but I can, if you don't mind, I'd like to propose this, because I think it'd be funny. But so she gets up there, and she like puts her hands together, kind of like this, and she bows, and she says, "I do apologize, but as a healer, I am forbidden to injure anyone or do harm." Or take any action towards violence. Is something she vowed in quotation marks.
Is lying already also included in that?
You would need to make a deception check to try to pull that
Liar,
off.
liar, pants on fire.
Okay.
And it would be a difficult perception check because you're at a martial college, which means you chose to come to practice all the arts and not just healing. So it's going to be hard.
Yeah. That was just one way I wanted to try to play it. Deception?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. Should I leave the difficulty at 2 then?
3.
3. Okay. Okay. Can I give myself a boost at all?
How are you doing that?
I don't know how boost works.
Boosts are circumstantial things that you set an environment, or the environment is conducive to what you're doing. So if you're doing medicine check and you have the right tools that were specially there, you have good lighting for it, it's all set out, things are staged for success. Whereas if there's
Gotcha.
not, then it's the opposite, which is the black dice, which means it's a setback, which means it's been made harder by circumstantial events.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just being deceptive, so I don't really know how that goes with a boost.
Yeah,
I guess it's just my
we'll see how you
just
do.
my skill. Just my skill.
Just skill.
Just skill.
You could do well. You could not.
Oh
you succeed
my,
at
look at
one
you.
and generate one threat.
Wow.
That is an interesting roll.
We have a threat that came up this time. Do you know what threats do?
Make things harder?
Sort of. Malkoff or Matt, would you want to quickly go over that? How that works? I'm trying to find it here exactly.
So, I mean, it's different for each thing, but we're determining what you're trying to do, and a threat can be used either to maybe give you strain or something mechanical like this, or it can be used for narrative, and it can instead be like, well, you have indeed been successful in deceiving these people. However, maybe when you go and make your check, you have, you're not sure whether you've done it, so you're questioning yourself, so you might have a setback for it. You could do, I don't know, lots of different things. You could rub someone off the wrong way. You might have achieved deceiving them, but someone's not appreciated the way that you've spoken, and they've felt like you've been insulting with
I think that's
you saying.
I am shocked that you would say that about Emiko.
Emiko is just a kind-hearted soul. She's never hurt anyone in her life, She's just
these are like trained people like that have been doing this, and it's like, well, that's maybe like a little bit of knowledge, and then,
I wonder if Emiko is going to be a little paranoid.
She keeps her cool.
Mm-hmm.
The inspector looks at you and is like, do your best.
Clearly not impressed.
All right. So what she'll do, she's not gonna show her actual skill. She's trying to keep a low profile. But she will just kind of
I'd like to try and tell if she's lying when she said that she doesn't do any violence. What would the difficulty on the vigilance check be to tell she was lying?
She's fairly good at it. So it'd at least be standard difficulty, if not hard.
She's been trained to deceive people from a very young age.
That would mean if you're at least suspicious.
It's already been set, the difficulty for finding it. So, this is always a pose check. And it's based on what has already happened in this case. So she's rolling with certain things, and we use those things to determine what your difficulty is. So she's rolling a yellow and 2 greens, which means that you've got a red and 2 purples.
But that's how it would have gone. Okay.
Because it's based on what her check is, on what her deception is.
Looks like I believe her.
Okay.
Oh wait, 2 successes and 2 threat.
I don't know what that's done weird.
Not sure how you evaluate that.
Let me
work on it. For now, let's have Puppy roll her martial check to see how she does. And then we will get on with the last 2.
Okay.
Look at this.
What difficulty?
Standard 2.
2. Okay.
You succeed in striking. And you generate another threat. So this, you succeed, but you are strained out by it. You have overstressed yourself a little bit.
It took a lot of strain to hold back.
Exactly. You wanted to go ahead and, end him, but you're like, no.
Yeah, just at the last minute, I'm like, no. But she did it so elegantly.
Yeah. So he nods. Next. The inspector is skilled. He's probably been around a while and picks up on things. So we have 47 and Yang left.
I can go.
Sure. 47 steps up.
Before we do, are we using
Strike me
actual
with what
weapons
you
or just
got.
training ones that are provided?
Training weapon.
Gotcha. I'm guessing 47 sneakily grabs his weapon and doesn't actually grab it visually, and then instead of heading for them directly, they kind of slowly approach, and the dog suddenly jolts forward and grabs hold of them, and they try to get behind them with the training knife.
Okay.
So it's like through deception, like trying to be underestimated or.
Yeah. So roll and add a boost to your roll.
Actually, what? How do I do that? Where do I do that?
So you
Gotcha.
go to combat skills, melee light. Just as before, click the dice, click 1 on boost, and go for it. As they weren't expecting the dog to get involved.
Gotcha.
Ooh.
Success and 1 threat.
Lots of threat getting generated.
So,
I assume I succeeded in catching them off guard. I'm not sure what the threat could be. Maybe I think the dog suddenly lunges and it pulls them downward, and my swing with the knife misses a bit. It's not in the intended area, so it's not.
Yeah, you wouldn't miss because you've succeeded on your hit, but they could maybe dislike your dog.
Maybe
like,
afterwards the dog pees on the dummy.
yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah. So he pees on the guy's boot as he walks off. The guy's like, disgusting mutt.
Oh, you gotta go, huh? He pats him out on the back and walks off back to his spot.
And that leaves Yang.
All right. Well,
I've had it, Robin Williams.
Sorry?
I've had it, Robin Williams.
Kim's not really a combat aficionado. So I think how he's going to start this is he's going to take the position of a commander, or as a trainer even, and he'll be like walking this person who is clearly more skilled than him through basics of things. He has with him a ranged light weapon of some description, maybe a javelin or something like that, a faux javelin, just a stick that he's throwing at a range. And he's going to try and walk this guy through as like a commander would show a recruit. So his first combat check is going to be a leadership check. What would you like me to roll for that one, sir? What difficulty, please?
Let's do standard. We'll just leave it standard to make it quicker.
Okay.
Success with
So,
advantage.
Yep. Young, shows what instructs this guy on appropriate stance and range, and perhaps he is going to notice maybe something important about the scene. Maybe there's someone watching who hasn't been noticed yet, who maybe on the sidelines and trying to go unnoticed, or maybe someone's recently just come onto the field, or maybe there's something else that's going on that he might notice about this training field. Maybe there's some other recruits that he might spot that might be in a spot of danger, like they might be having trouble or something that he might spot.
You actually spot an old man at the top of the pagoda looking down on everyone watching this.
Okay.
I don't know how long he's been there. He's watching.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. And then he is going to attempt to use this ranged light weapon to land an attack. So
do it.
We're gonna go over here. We are going to use our ranged light and standard difficulty. Off we go. Oh. All right, we have failed with a threat. So not only do I miss the target, but because we have identified that old man up there, let's say that he has noticed. He has noticed and paid attention, and he might just be like, you saw me, and you kept your eye off the target, and that's why you have failed, because you didn't keep your eye on the target. And so he is not particularly happy with that.
Sounds good.
Cool.
All right. Well, this
Let's
has
piss
been
off the guy in charge.
You might be.
Why not?
You'll have to wait and tune in next time to find out who is the old man watching everyone, and what does he have to say to our good friend Gang and the Endeavors. I do hope you guys have enjoyed. Some of the pacing was a little bit slower tonight, trying to make sure everyone learned the system, trying to give everyone a chance to roll the dice and see how they worked. We will be picking up the pace more as things go on some, but we wanted to make sure everyone had a chance to roll some dice, see how it worked, learn the system and the world. So, thank you all for being here. Be sure you tune in every week where we're doing this fine, wondrous campaign. Until next time, as always, enjoy the story. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.